Alright, welcome back. Hopefully this is recording. Today we're going to be doing the second part of the Leopard. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, still using the same Prismacolor pens. And yeah, let's just go for it. The thing I like about everyone has their own style for art, everyone has their own technique, and you can really learn a lot from a person by watching their technique and watching what they do. And I just find it interesting to see what people can accomplish with what they're given. Like, somebody could be given just one pencil and maybe like the last bit of an eraser, and they'll have this like utter masterpiece created. Or you could be given like one thing of charcoal or like dust, and then like nothing else, and you see this absolute gorgeous piece come out of it. And so it's always interesting to see what people can make by using different material and like random things that aren't always like what they're usually supposed to be used for. And it's interesting to see when people use that to their advantage and just wow people by being able to make these absolute gorgeous pieces without really like needing to try. Well, they do try, but like without needing like all these fancy gadgets and so forth. I don't know. I say that and I'm like saying, "Oh, get this like special art pen." Like, don't get me wrong. If you have the means and the material, then you are pretty much set. And it can be a great joy and just awesome thing to be able to have the proper equipment and so forth. And I say proper equipment, like, you can't make art pretty much out of anything. Especially like nowadays, like you see these people, like I saw somebody that made a full-on mosaic portrait out of cinnamon buns. Like literally, like cinnamon buns cooked and frosted differently, and they made a absolute gorgeous portrait. And I think the portrait was of Misha Collins from Supernatural. And if you know what Supernatural is, good on you. If you don't, it is a phenomenal show. I say it is like it's still running. Unfortunately, it's not running anymore. But it was a phenomenal show, and the main characters were Sam and Dean, played by Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles. And that show was everything to me like a while ago. well, it still is kind of everything to me because uh, I suffered a few head injuries and so forth uh, back in high school and throughout my life. And one of the major ones was a car accident. I got ran off the road by a car on my way to school on my second day of high school, freshman year, 2 days before my 14th birthday. And that instance really messed with my life. Like, it's still messing with my life. And one of the things I had to work on was getting my memory back. Well, I say memory back like I lost it, but I I wasn't able to remember things, and if I did, I they were usually like incorrect or off somehow. And a lot of people use that to their advantage, which is just messed up. If you know somebody with head injuries and so forth, don't use it against them. Like, yeah, definitely make sure that you keep an eye to make sure they're all right, but like, don't use it against them. It's messed up. And while in the waiting room, Supernatural came on, and I was completely transfixed by it. And it was one of their earlier seasons too. And my dad was with me, and he saw me focusing on it so much, and he's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" And I was able to explain what I had watched for the past 10 minutes very easily. And that was the first time I was able to accurately remember something in a while. And so from that point on, Supernatural was used as a tool to help with my memory. And we got the entire series in DVD, and my dad managed to he watched the series with me, and he would have me watch an episode, and he would stop it at random parts, and I would have to recall as much as I could from when he stopped it previously. And then he would ask me about like questions about what the characters were doing, questions about who the characters were, what was the storyline so far. And it took years for me to get my memory into the proper place. But my dad said that he could start seeing progress within like a couple months of doing this process. And he was so happy, and my mom was so happy, and everyone was so happy because some of the doctors were saying, "Oh yeah, her memory will never be the same." And sure enough, doing these activities and so forth, I was getting better with my memory. And like it was really helping me because part of the thing I lost was the ability to do sports. I was told you are never to do sports again because the risk of you getting a head injury and it possibly being fatal is astronomical. And that's part of the reason why I and my family get so irritated by people not wearing helmets on their bikes because a helmet legit saved my life. I like hopscotched across the pavement into a trash can and into a fence. And the only reason I was okay was because I had a helmet. My helmet was literally split in half. And my dad, for years, brought it to back to school night, and he would have it up in his classroom as an example on why you should wear your helmet. And I don't know what happened to the helmet. It somehow went missing. If I still had it, I would show it to you guys. But Supernatural, like, legit saved me. And my dad's the greatest. Like, I was honestly interested in the show, so when he was doing this, I was so upset. I was like, just let me watch the show. It's not like it's actually going to work. And then he had like the biggest I told you so when it ended up actually working. And because I had given up. I had given up hope. I had given up everything. I did not think I would ever be anywhere close to normal again. And I think that's what separates certain parents from others. Because, and like certain groups to others, because the people that you want to stay close to you and you want to continue to be in your life are the people that don't give up on you. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they are basically like, you thought I was gone. No, I'm never leaving. You're stuck with me forever. And honestly, there's nothing I could want more. Like, I am so appreciative of both my parents. And I can honestly say I would not be able to, like, be sitting here talking to you like this, like I am right now, without them. Anyway, during one of my birthdays, and it was when my dad was seeing like the most improvement with me. He did something that I appreciate and I still have hanging up on my wall. And I will bring out if like people want to see it, but he did the sweetest thing. He reached out to the cast of Supernatural, and Misha Collins, the one that plays Castiel, responded back with a signed, autographed postcard of him in the Castiel costume and everything. And this is in response to a letter my dad sent of what we had been doing and how the show had been helping me. And honestly, it was the greatest thing I had experienced in a while. Like, you hear people about like going through dark times. That really helped me push forward for the remainder of my recovery, because I was still recovering. I had not fully. I'm still actually recovering because I've had a couple other head injuries, and yeah, it's it's one of those things where don't knock something until you like try it, and definitely don't knock it if uh where am I going with this? Uh Not don't knock something if you unless you try it. You'd be nah, this is what I'm trying to say. All right. Uh if something is working for you and if you enjoy something, go for it. Like I enjoyed watching Supernatural. I enjoyed everything about it. And I am so thankful for that show. It helped me through so much. And I have a much better memory nowadays than I did. And it's because of that that stupid activity that my dad insisted we do. And honestly, I'm still bitter about it. uh, but I'm so thankful that my dad didn't give up on me. Like, I don't think I can explain how much I appreciate everything him, my mom, everyone else went through when I was going through what I was going through. And you can always tell who's actually like trying to like help you through things. Like some of my I have lost a lot of relationships because people don't fully understand what it's like and what like I'm still going through because of all this. And just be careful with what you say to others and like how you approach certain things because you don't know what somebody's going through. Somebody could be going through the worst day in the history of worst days. And like something I used to have was I honestly used to have a chip on my shoulder. I would sometimes just be difficult for the plain thing of being difficult. But now that I'm older and like can look back and I'm in a healthier place, kind of, I understand like a lot of the things I did were not always the greatest, but uh yeah. It's just like one of those things where you gotta choose your battles and not snap at people and not try to like force issues. Like for instance, I'm saying like a lot. I should really stop saying like. Sorry. um but an example would be possibly giving somebody a hard time during a hard day because you got called out for something and you're like, "Why are you calling me out? What did I do to you?" Like you have no idea what that person's going through. Maybe they were just tired of people not obeying certain things or tired of just having to deal and deal and deal and deal. And you were the lucky person that finally pushed them over so that they don't want to deal with it anymore. Like, maybe that's not a good example. But you guys understand what I'm saying. Don't be difficult for the sake of being difficult. But also be wary of like what people are going through, and don't try to be the one that causes things. Because there's no point in it. There really isn't. I'm just going back and touching up some of the lines. Because the thing about leopards is they always have these like dark lines around the ears. I'm like saying all this like somebody's actually going to watch this. Psst. Nobody's actually going to watch this. I should be thankful that nobody's actually going to watch this because I can say what I want. But I'm still going to be respectful and so forth. Like a lot of people should be. Always be respectful. Just try and be respectful and as professional as possible, like 24/7. Just so that nobody has reason to get angry about you. Like if you're just calm, then you show that not only are you the bigger person, you're the one willing to actually be there and be talking. And if the other person gets even more upset, then you can use that and be like, bruh, who's the one causing problems now? just try to be as calm and respectful as possible. My dad had a thing in soccer. His thing was don't stoop to their level. Instead, be kind to them, compliment them. Because the best way to throw them off and to get back is to not stoop down to their level. Because that will make them angrier than anything. Like that's what will set them off, is if you're kind and respectful. Because they'll be so thrown by it, they'll be like, I'm trying to argue with you. What? Why are you're not arguing back? And it truly does work. Like I've done it quite a few times, and the look on some people when I'm just like bubbly, 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 and just like happy-go-lucky and not stooping down to their level of pettiness and so forth. Well, not pettiness, but like anger and like just downright nastiness. The thrown off expressions and the whole just get angry, just get loud, because that's what some have like actually responded to me with, like just get angry, just get loud, just fight back. And it's just like, why would I want to do that and be brought down with you? Like there's better ways to handle than to just, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I didn't have caffeine this morning, and my caffeine is like what helps me concentrate and focus. Like it's one of the few things that keeps me grounded, but or not grounded, makes things easier for me to like process. I don't know why. Like it doesn't energize me, it grounds me sort of. Like some people get like jittery and scatterbrained when they have caffeine. It's the opposite for me. I get calm and I don't know. There's only one instance when I got jittery and so forth, and that's because I drank a frappuccino and then a monster right after one another, and it was like one of those like giant monsters, like that big, and it it was a mess. It was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like I was bouncing off the walls that day, but that I also like so I'm not. Eh. So how do you like the leopard that's coming along so far? I hope people like it. I hope people like it. I'm sorry, I'm just a scatterbrained mess this morning. Sorry. Me grabbing a new pen. I really wish I could like figure out how to do music and so forth on this so that you guys didn't have to hear me ramble. Sorry, I'm just thinking up some of the lines so that it's easier to see and discern. You say I love you too. Note to self, never give Bagheera catnip before filming a video again. I'm sorry, my kitten's like literally bouncing around the room, like being all crazy and so forth, and I guess that's my fault because I gave him some catnip. And usually when he has catnip, he like calms down and so forth, but this time, oh my gosh, he is just like all over the place and crazy, and it's just, it's a mess. And the only reason why I give him catnip is because, like, he does suffer anxiety and stress, and, like, it helps relax him. Usually. I don't know why why he's freaking out this time. I mean, I did switch catnip brands, because I wanted to try something new and see how he would like it, so. Hey, does anyone know the song that has the two volcanoes and so forth? Like, does anyone know the full lyrics to that? Because, like, the tune has been stuck in my head since, for like a week now. And it's like, da na 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 na. I'm sorry for my terrible singing. Like, in advance. You know, I didn't always used to have, like, a voice like this. Like, this changed drastically because of, certain medical issues that I had, like, back in high school. And, like, during those medical issues, along with, like, everything else I was dealing with in high school, my voice changed drastically. Like, a couple years ago, or, like, a couple years before, I was very high-pitched, and I had a very different sounding voice. You know, I once looked up the, like, English lyrics for that. Or not English, yeah, I think English. Anyway, I looked up the translation for that song, and I have no idea if it was, like, accurate or not, but if it was a very, very beautiful song, and I never knew the meaning behind it, because that's the song from, Mighty Joe Young, and if you don't know that movie, oh my gosh, you need to watch that movie, because that is a great movie, and it's a song that is sung throughout the movie, and it is, the parts that it is sung at are very impactful, and I don't want to give away too much, but, like, if the lyrics were correctly translated from that song, then oh my gosh, that it is so beautiful. And I have a new respect for that song. Because, like, part of the translation, if it was right, was like, sing the song of the wind, let your heart take flight. Sing the song of the wind. And it like, oh, it was just, I need to find the translation because I printed it off. I don't know where I put it. And, oh my gosh, it is such a beautiful song, and I do not do it justice. Like, the melody is beautiful. It sounds appealing to the ears, and like, if I translated it correctly, it has a beautiful message behind it. I need to find the translation that I got for it. Another like thing that got stuck in my head for like almost a week now is we'll be the happiest home in these hills, na 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 na. And if again, I do not do singing justice, but it's Happiest Home in These Hills by from the original Pete's Dragon. And it's very well done in the original movie. I actually haven't seen the remake. And I have no idea if they like did the song in the remake, but it does such a good job setting up the entire movie. I'm sorry if I like keep on like deep sighing into the mic and so forth, and I'm sorry if I'm like talking too loud. I have a habit of that. And sorry for like being so scatterbrained and so forth. I say sorry a lot, if you can't tell. Awkward, silent pause while I concentrate. Da 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 da. Somebody walks into the room. What are you doing? Don't question it. Don't ever question it. Not ever. Not ever. I am a weirdo. But at least I've got like some stuff on my side. What I'm doing is to get the thicker, darker lines is I'm just simply changing the angle of my pen. So to get the really thin lines, I barely touch the pen to the paper. And I have it almost on its side. Which is why if you can, I suggest you work on like the edge of a table or something, but unfortunately, my stand doesn't work on my table. So this is what we're dealing with. What I just did for this one is cross-hatch it a little. Partially because I'm lazy and I don't want to like redo the entire thing. Partially because I don't know if you can tell, but it's giving it a darker look. And because it's on the lower part of the leopard, I kind of want to give it that darker look without having to like go back over and over and over and over and over. Like I'm having to do with this one and this one. Sorry if this is like kind of boring. Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, mommy shark, do do do. I'm sorry for anybody that I just got that stuck in the head of. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I'm over the spots. I'm just going to wing it from here for the spots. And like I said in the previous video, the good thing about doing tigers and so forth and animals like this is the spots are completely yours to mess with as you choose. So you can make them look however long, however shape, however dark, however light, because no two leopard and no two tiger have the same spots. It's basically like a fingerprint or an ear. All right. We are done with the pen. Just go erase my lines and so forth that are left behind. Whoops. And voila. Now, onto the eyes. And we are going to be using colored pencil for the eyes, so... Hey. So I'm going to be using a lightish yellow. It's called lemon yellow. And what I'm going to do is do something called a base color. And what that is when you lay down a single color very, very, very lightly right here, and that is your base color. It's the color you start off with. And why this is important is because that's going to be the hidden color beneath everything on top. So yellow is going to be the hidden color beneath or above. Because if you look at eyes, you can see all types of colors and so forth beneath where you think you're looking. And thankfully, there are certain things where you can have a completely black and white image, but just like little minute color changes can make or break it. So for this one, we are only going to be coloring the eyes and the nose. And then the rest of it is going to be black and white. And I'm doing this on purpose because it's called selective coloring. And it really makes, in my opinion, the things that you color pop. And it really brings a different perspective to the piece. So we're going to be doing a secondary layer. And this is going to be apple green. Now I know what my colors look like. But just so that you're not thrown off, I suggest you do a tester color sheet. But I know what these pencils look like because I've used them for many a thing. So I am not going to be using a tester sheet. And I am going very, very lightly. There is no need to go dark with color pencil, because all that does is it wears down your pencil and it makes you use unnecessary material. You can just go very, very lightly and put on layer after layer. And see, doesn't that already pop and so forth? Like, it pops unusually, like, vibrantly. And that's because we're not doing a whole bunch to it. Then I'm going to calm it down by using my base to go back over it some. And it calms it down, but it also brightens it. And it brings it back to our base color. Now what I'm doing is called an overlap blend, or at least that's what I call it. There's no reason for you to go unnecessarily hard with the pencil. You can just go very, very lightly and still get your material onto the piece of paper. Alright, so we used yellow and green. I'm sorry, I've got the sniffles. And for the nose, I think I'm going to use blush pink. And I'm not going to be doing a secondary color over top of this because I don't think it will need it, because I don't want it to pop too much. I want it to be kind of dull, kind of neutral, but I also want it to be vibrant to a point. And yeah, these are just the finishing touches on our piece. Man, these sniffles. Just going to do some final touch-ups. Alright. And there we go. Your very own leopard. If you can, if you want to try to do this better, please do. I encourage it. But this is my attempt at a leopard. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry if I bored you. Sorry if I rambled too much. Sorry for saying sorry so much, I guess. Enjoy your life. Bye-bye.